You are listening to the Emergency Broadcast Systems. This station broadcasts emergency news and official information on the air for assigned area.
Hello guys, SurvivalTech Nord here. Today we're going to be talking about the 8-watt Tri-Power Baofeng radios. Surprisingly, you're going to find out that the biggest problem with these radios has nothing to do with their quality or manufacturing. In fact, the only problems I found with these Tri-Power radios is that most users don't know how to make the best out of them. Let's jump right into it and see if we can do something about that. For this video, we'll be using the Baofeng BF F9 Plus Tri-Power. We'll also need to set up a test jig, so we're going to need a power and SWR meter and a few adapters. If you're confused, just bear with me. By the end of the video, you'll understand the point. For those who are curious, there's a couple of different ways to know if your radio is Tri-Power or not. If you remove the battery of your radio, you'll see the model number and designation, either Tango Papa TP or Hotel Papa HP. And in the firmware TXO setting, you'll have 3 positions, low, medium, and high. But let's move on. For this video, the very first thing I wanted to do was test and actually see how much power is coming out of the radio. After that, I would test and see how much power is coming out of the antenna. I ended up testing 3 different Baofeng antennas. The one that came with the radio, the one from the original UV5R, the one from the UV82L, then 2 oddball antennas, one from Sonic and the other from Yaesu. So on to the results of the test. I have to say there's some good news and there's some bad news. The good news is the radio outputs 1 watt, 4 watts, and 8 watts, just like advertised. Just remember, it only does that when it has an absolutely full battery. The lower the battery charge, the lower the power output. Simple. On the other hand, there's the bad news. So although the radio is capable of 8 watts when set to high power, there's absolutely zero chance of it doing it with any of the Baofeng antennas. But don't worry, we totally expected this. Radio manufacturers have a pretty tough time of delivering good antennas, and this certainly isn't just a problem with Baofeng. OEM antennas are usually inefficient, not tuned, too short, have a low power rating, and basically nothing more than dummy loads. This has usually been the case with OEM antennas of all manufacturers, and it probably will be for the foreseeable future. For this reason, any experienced comms person will tell you that the very first upgrade you should make to your radio is a well-designed, well-engineered upgrade antenna that you either build yourself or from an antenna manufacturer who has been around for 20 years or more. Now, to be honest, I knew what the results would be before I made the tests. I simply thought it more important to give you the information you need in order to use the radio to its highest potential, rather than publishing another video which simply states manufacturer claims without a channel having done the testing to prove those claims. So, to get the most out of the 8 watts that comes in these Tri-Power radios, first of all, use medium and low power if you're using the default Baofeng antenna. The antennas that come with these radios are good enough for 1 watt, 3 watts, 5 watts, but only act as a hand warmer at 8 watts. Secondly, save high power for a very efficient, very powerful high-gain antenna like a Yagi, a quad, or a long vertical. Using 8 watts with a default antenna will give you absolutely zero benefit. The absolute best combination would be a Tri-Power radio with a high-gain antenna. So my final thoughts on these radios? Well, they're absolutely not a gimmick. If you're one of those people on the fringes of repeater or simplex coverage, absolutely 8 watts is going to help you as long as you have an efficient high-gain antenna to put the power into. I can't stress this point enough. The only benefit you're going to get with the 8 watts or running 8 watts in the radio is when you're running 8 watts through a high-gain antenna. And actually, the longer the better. Check out antennas from Diamond and Nagoya. Also, keeping with this budget series, check out the description for the Sonic high-gain antenna that you see in this video. Finally, and this is something that's really difficult for people to understand, if you have a 4 or 5 watt radio, a normal HT, and you add a high-gain antenna to it, you can count on having exactly the same performance as an 8 watt radio with its standard antenna. Whether you have a normal radio or one of these new 8-watt high-power radios, invest in a high-gain antenna. Alright guys, this video has been a little bit abstract, so if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section and I'll answer them as I normally do. Like, share, subscribe, let people know what we're doing with this channel. Rock and roll, guys. Thanks for watching. Ciao.